Back to the topic of conversation, which is Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen or heard from since. There's been a lot of information that has been had by the mom and the stepfather, and they are inconsistent at best. There are a lot of lies that were found out. There's a lot of covering up that they're trying to do by manipulating law enforcement into thinking that they're being stalked and harassed when they're the ones stalking and harassing people. It seems like no matter who is brought in to actually help find Sebastian, they are intimidated and ran off by people affiliated and associated with the mom and the stepfather and their side of the family. This has been proven over and over and over again, so I'm not going to sit here and rehash that, because at the end of the day, it's not bringing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home any sooner. What I can say is that people need to have thicker skin and a backbone, because if you put your foot down and put the line in the sand and say, no, I'm going to continue to look for this boy whether or not you try to deter me, that's what we need. And I was sitting around a table full of people that have their line drawn in the sand and say that they will not be intimidated by this family, and they are going to help find this young man. And that's what we need. We need strong people out there helping look for people. The people that don't want to be in the spotlight, there's so much you guys can do behind the scenes, from researching, mapping, ideas, where could this person be? Research into the people that were associated and around this child at the time of his disappearance. Good, legitimate investigative work on trying to locate this young man. We know that there is something going on in that county. We can feel it. We've watched it. I've done this all over the country. I've never dealt with the problems I've had to deal with there. But they have a culture issue. And they think that they can accept federal funds, but they only have to pander to their voter base and their personal county taxpayers. Well, we got laws against that. This boy needs to be found. And it sounds like law enforcement is focused on, their priorities are not proper. They need to refocus their attention back to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and not social media. We're going to be here for a long time. You can keep stepping on toes and pissing all over the work that we do. But at the end of the day, we are protected by the Constitution. And that's something they're going to have to just deal with. They're just going to have to deal with it. And they're going to have to learn to work in an environment where we exist. And they're not going to keep being able to throw people in jail under lousy reasons to prevent them from finding Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian is a boy that loved life. He was already disadvantaged coming into this world. He had a lot against him, and he still was able to thrive. The first part of his life, he thrived mostly because his father took care of him while his mother ran off to the Navy and wasn't home as much. That is what people don't understand, is why is Seth fighting so hard? Because that's his boy. That's his son. He gave that boy his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That's Seth's name for his son. That's the name that Seth wanted for his son. He took care of his son. He watched his son take his first steps, changed his diaper, stayed up with him for 16 to 18 hours every day because his son couldn't sleep because his son had these issues. His son needed a lot of delicate care, and his father gave him that in the absence of his mother. And when their relationship expired, in my opinion, she did not want Seth to have her son. But yet she never really took care of him like Seth took care of him. And that is relevant, and it is obvious that every single bad thing that has happened to that child has happened to that child under his mother's care.